What's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk 2020 edition coming at you. Right now, we're going to preview the Rams versus Eagles Week 2. Yeah. All right. Rams coming fresh off their win against the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles coming off fresh off their humiliating defeat against the Washington football team. Let's get into it. But before we do that, you can find me on Instagram at LA Rams Talk and Twitter at Real LA Rams Talk. DM me, message me, whatever me, or leave a comment here. It's all good. A lot of new people have subscribed recently since the Cowboys game and since the beginning of the season, since football is hot and heavy. So thank you to everyone for subscribing. I'm doing my best to bring you the good stuff. Because there's a lot of weak stuff out there, and this is the good stuff. So tell a friend, subscribe, leave a comment for all the legacy subscribers. Hey, Harry and your dad, happy birthday to your dad. The Rams will give you a W for that. Kanan, love you. El Pineapples, Bill, Bearded Soul, just to name a few. I'll do a live stream one of these days coming up, and we can all get together and hang out and chat and talk anything Rams. But yeah, let's just dive into this right now, because doing some research for this was a fun one because it took me back. It took me back to my younger years. And when I think about this matchup with the Eagles, I think of probably one of the most obscure Mel Gibson movies. I think about a great James Brown song. I think about the Lord of the Rings. All of those things. I also think about Marc Bulger and Tory Holt, Marshall Faulk, Steven Jackson, and Isaac Bruce. Think about all of these things because this game is all about Payback. Payback, the Mel Gibson movie of 1999. The Payback song by James Brown. 2004, the last time the Rams beat the Philadelphia Eagles. 2004 is when Lord of the Rings won the Oscar. What were you doing in 2004? How old were you in 2004? It's been a while. 16 freaking years. And the Rams have lost 6 consecutive games to the Eagles. We owe them. This is it. This is the time. Not all streaks go on forever, right? So this is the time. This is the year. This is the game. Rams beat the Eagles. Okay? Now I'm confident. I think mainly just because I pumped myself up right now. The Eagles are still a very good team, even though they got embarrassed by the Dwayne Haskins-led Washington team. Oh, gosh. The old name of that team is just right on the tongue. It wants to come out. Let me tell you something about that team. Just going off subject here, right? Someone in the last comments called me out for saying the red blank, the Washington red blank, right? Now, it's just habit, right? It's like you grow up with some kid named Bobby, and you've called him Bobby your whole life. Now you're 40, and Bobby wants to be called Robert, right? Sometimes you're going to slip and call him Bobby because that's just what you've known him your whole life as, is Bobby. Okay, so forgive me, PC police out there, if I call the Washington football team by their old name because, come on. It's going to happen, and it's okay. Anyways, getting back to this. So we've lost the last 6. Obviously the game where Wentz tore his ACL, and obviously 2 years ago, and I think that game against the Eagles 2 years ago, that's when Gurley, the knee started with Gurley, was in that game. So, feel like everyone. So I just hope no one tears a knee in this game, okay? The way things have gone. But it's payback. But I tell you what, Philly's a good team. They should beat us until we prove them wrong, right? We have to prove it. The Rams have to prove it. It's on the Rams to break that streak. But this is the year. Because Rams played great against a good Dallas team. And Philly lost to a crap Washington team. I know every week is different, right? Also, Philly, they were minus several guys. So it's kind of a different Philly team this week, right? Philly, in their last 17 games, are 11-6 after a loss. They're also 12-6 in their last home games. However, this is like kind of it's a home game because they don't have to travel. It's a field they play on most of the time, but they don't have that brotherly love, right? That is actually a big factor. If you've been to a Rams game at the Coliseum against the Eagles, oh gosh, you've seen and felt and heard those Philly fans, right? So yeah, those are a couple stats there. However, the Rams have the highest road winning percentage since 2017 at 72%, followed by the Saints, followed by the Patriots. So the Rams are actually a very good road team. And the fact that the Eagles don't have any fans, hey, So Rams are flying there Saturday afternoon, getting in there, playing Sunday morning before their bodies even know they're there, and then getting out. So this isn't, we're going to go there, we're going to marinate, get all acclimated. This is wham bam, strategical strike, right? So let's fly in, get that W, come back, right? So there you go. Now I mentioned some Eagles were out. So Lane Johnson, in my opinion, the most important Eagle that was out. Yeah, people could say Miles Sanders, but Lane Johnson makes Miles Sanders go. That offensive line just, even though it was a top 5 last year, they lose Brooks. So Brooks is out for the season guard, but they still have Peters. They still have Kelsey. The left guard, I can't remember his name. Right guard, we're going to talk about their right guard. But their right tackle, Lane Johnson, is back. He had a high ankle sprain, still some swelling. Heard him interviewed, still some swelling. Don't want to see anyone injured. He seemed like a pretty cool guy. The Eagles are 36-17 with Lane Johnson. They are 6-12 without Lane Johnson. So he is huge for them because that's protection, that's running the ball. He's super important. Then you have Miles Sanders, who is, they need Miles Sanders because Boston Scott is not the guy. Corey Clement, not the guy. So Miles Sanders. Now you got two cogs back there, and also Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett? Yes, Derek Barnett, defensive end. He is back too. So the only guy that the Eagles are really missing is Alshon Jeffrey. But I think Eagles fans can live with that with Rager, Deshaun Jackson, the 2 tight ends, and Ward. So I think if you're an Eagles fan, you're feeling pretty good about having the troops back. And, that just poses more problems for the Rams. So, if those guys are playing against Washington, maybe Philly wins. So that's actually a big deal. The Rams, injury-wise, clean sheet. So let's hope no one gets injured in practice. But, hey, that's great. That's all you can ask for. So for the Rams, I think really both teams, it is all about the run game. It's all about the run game. So for the Rams, it's about getting their run game going and stopping the run game. And so since Jim Schwartz has been with the Eagles, or I think at least since 2016, they've had the best run defense, averaging 92.2 yards against. So, you look at them and you're like, well, their linebackers aren't really household names. They've got Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, Hargrave right now on their defensive end. So they come across on paper as a great run-stopping team, but they are. So the Rams had 153 yards last week. And so let's see if they can break 100 total. I'm hopeful that they will. So Blythe and Corbett and Noteboom, those guys got to get some push and they got to create some holes. But I do expect the Rams to do a lot of misdirection, just keep everyone moving and everyone's eyeballs everywhere. But they got to feed the ball. They had 40 carries last week. Let's get 40 carries again. Let's get 153 yards. If we do that, I really feel good about our chances. So yeah, our O-line will need to step up. Now last week the Rams played in 11 personnel 68% of the time. That was 49 plays. They played in 12 personnel 28% of the time. That was 20 snaps. Now, out of those 20 snaps or offensive plays in 12 personnel, they threw the ball 45% of the time. So almost 50% of the time. So almost, probably was like 11 rushes and, 11 rushes and 9 passes out of 12 personnel. So I expect to see maybe even a little more 12 personnel to get those running lanes going, to make sure the running attack works. Maybe more Gerald Everett as a fullback. That was an interesting little wrinkle we saw in the first week. So, I really expect the Rams to stay consistent with running the ball. Now, Miles Sanders, he was out with a hamstring, and I respect Miles Sanders in his game. And when he played last year, he didn't have full carries. I think he had 170-something carries, so not a full 230-plus lead back carries, 800 and some yards, but he had 1,300-plus all-purpose yards, so they use him in the passing game. But, Miles Sanders, as good as he is not Ezekiel Elliott. And the Cowboys line, for having, a very questionable right tackle and okay center and left guard, they're not a bad offensive line. And the Rams still put up those numbers against a good defensive, they still stopped or held Zeke not in check, but, if you don't count that passing play where he broke like 8 tackles, all terrible tackling, Zeke was, he didn't really like bust through. So I feel like, the Rams can fare pretty well against Miles Sanders. I don't think he's going to have a breakout game. I think he'll have a good game, but he's not gonna drop $150 on the Rams. Okay, so I think that'll be okay. Also, if we want to talk about their offense, let's talk about the weak link, the matchup of all matchups in this game is our boy Aaron Donald coming in like a wrecking ball against Nate Herbig, right? He is a second-year undrafted free agent playing right guard, and oh man, this guy's got to be sweating it right now, knowing that he's got to face AD. And they're going to move AD across the line, but I guarantee you he's going to be facing off against Nate Herbig often. So Nate Herbig, if you're watching, fake an injury. Just fake an injury. No one will blame you for that, okay? So that's a matchup for me to watch on the offensive line for the Eagles, but they're going to move AD around, so we'll see how that goes. The offensive line last week, now granted, the Washington football team has a really good defensive front, but they sacked Carson Wentz 8 times. He fumbled a couple times. He threw 2 picks. They had 13 quarterback hits, right? So, this O-line, that's without Lane Johnson, okay? So we can, they had a rookie Jake Driscoll in there, right tackle, who did okay. But that's something. Now, Carson Wentz, I think if you talk to a lot of Philly fans, they get on him because last week he did, and Doug Peterson did, what Sean McVay and Jared Goff have done all the time, and we know this: holding onto the ball too long, not having short plays, just standing there and getting smacked, especially when your offensive line is a sieve and the defense is coming at you. He just held onto the ball too long. Carson Wentz made 2 bad plays, 2 interceptions, right? That really changed the tide of the game, and that's not even a really good Washington secondary. You talk to Washington fans, their secondary is probably the weakness of the team, and they picked off Wentz twice. What is Wentz going to do when he goes against Ramsey, Hill, and Williams, and JJ, and Fuller, and all of these guys, right? So that's going to be a big deal for Wentz. I think throwing the ball for Wentz is going to be tough, but Wentz when he does throw the ball. So here's the deal. I feel like the Rams are going to play more Taylor Rapp in this game. You can get more Rapp, more Fuller, more JJ, because Goddard and Ertz, I watched that game. They had 16 targets, 11 receptions for 119 yards between the two of those guys. That is Wentz B&B bread and butter, Ertz and Goddard. So you bring in these safeties, these D-back safety guys, and that's what you do. That's what you do. You put them on the tight ends and you make them extend the field. So they're going to try and go deep down the field to Jackson and Rager, and they're going to try and work the middle with Goddard and Ertz, and that's what they're going to do. But more Ertz and Goddard than Rager and Jackson, because if the pressure's getting to Wentz, he's not going to get those deep balls. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. Is how do the tight ends for the Eagles fare in this game? Because Ramsey, and is Ramsey going to guard a tight end? If a tight end starts becoming a problem, you're going to put Ramsey on him, So fun times all across the field, fun times. Now on offense, and Philly defense. So this is going to be another test for the O-line. So we have this one game tape and all these stats, and we're like, oh, the offensive line is back, but like until we get like 4 games in, and you've played the Bills and you played the Eagles and you played the Cowboys and you've played, I think it's the Giants at that point, and then the Redskins. I can't remember which one's the 4th game. But you get 3 games in, and this offensive line against really good defenses holds its own, then I'll be a believer. But right now, jury is still out. And I love you guys on the offensive line, but let's face it, jury is still out. So Fletcher Cox and Malik Jackson. I remember Fletcher Cox wrecking shop the last couple matchups. So that's real deal right there. Malik Jackson looked good. Saw a play against Washington where he hit the guard so hard the guard just did this like stumble and then like eventually fell. Like he just kept going back, stumbling back because he couldn't get his balance. And so you're like, damn, Malik Jackson. All right, they got Hargrave back. So they're pressure up the middle. So I think the Rams are going to move the pocket. Move the pocket. It's that simple. You just take the pocket and you move it with Goff, right? Get him outside, get that pressure in the middle, just get out of the way, and, just do some layups. Darrell Henderson, let's get some Darrell Henderson in the passing game, right? I think that's really what Rams fans want to see. We want to see Darrell Henderson catching the ball. So I feel like that this is a prime opportunity. Let's move the pocket. Let's catch the ball. I feel like they're going to feed the rock. They're going to have the same kind of game plan. Another fun matchup is going to be NRC, Roby Coleman on Cooper Kupp. They know each other. Hey, a lot of love for NRC, okay? So a lot of people are talking about, he's telling the Eagles all secrets. Of course, he's an Eagle, right? This is his current wife. All right? Why would he cheat on his current wife? So NRC, nothing but love, but that's going to be a fun matchup. Slay, I think maybe against Woods, that's going to be a fun matchup. And then, so that leaves Avonte Maddox as the other cornerback. So if Wood, I don't know how the Eagles, if they just stick a Slay on one side, Maddox on another side, but that could leave Maddox versus Jefferson or Reynolds. So that could be a pivotal matchup, but I'm not exactly sure how the Eagles line up their cornerbacks. So they've got NRC and Slay, 2 legit cornerbacks. So you kind of attack the weakness, which would be the third cornerback. But they'll still get catches against Slay and NRC. Those guys still give up catches, so it's not like they're just shutting them down. And then you have the tight ends. So the tight ends Higbee will get targeted more. He'll get more snaps. So this could be low key Higbee party, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see Higbee have his breakout game of the 2 games this year. So I think Higbee for me, and then whoever the receiver is going up against Avonte Maddox, those are going to be my 2 shining stars when they're running routes. Now with Goff, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't force any turnovers. Don't have any stupid throws. Don't do any stupid fumbles. So I expect this is a battle of the number 1 versus number 2 pick, and man, it would be so sweet if Goff just everyone is just kissing Wentz's ass. Everyone. Right? And everyone always thought Wentz was the better quarterback than Goff. So let's see what's up. Right? This is Goff's time to shine. I think he's got to feel confident. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell. He came from Washington last year. He's been there for a couple of years. So I think he's pretty fresh with knowing what the defense would be throwing at the Rams for the Eagles. Played the Eagles a couple times and then, factored that over a couple of years. So, I don't think the Eagles have drastically changed their offensive style or playbook. So Kevin O'Connell could provide some really good insight, and that's why having him as an OC is great. So it's not just McVay having to think about it all. It's O'Connell saying, hey, this is the deal. So I'd be interested to see what the game plan is. I feel like really based off of one game offensively, and Sosa for the Rams Locked On podcast, he said it very well, that the Rams offense will be multiple. Like it could just be anything. Week to week, based on the defense, based on the matchup, it could be anything. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there. One thing I should have said at the top of the show is that reports are coming in that Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, it is very likely that he gets extended today. While I'm making this video, it could be happening. This is Friday. Friday night for me, but I'm going to drop this so it's Friday midday for you. But hey, by the time the game starts on Sunday, we could have Robert Woods locked up, and that's some freaking awesome voodoo magic of the cap right there. Anything is possible, right? Hey, and if you're wondering, hey Rams, I'm open to a long-term deal, right? I'll take an all-cash signing bonus, so I don't, I'm not against the cap every year. So just make it easy on you. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, that's it. I could have done more research. I just want to get something out, but I appreciate all of you for watching. Eagles fans, be cool. Be cool. Be cool. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, Sam Sloman, cue the music. Yeah, there you have it. That's Rams talk. So my final prediction, Rams 31. Got to convert more in the red zone. Eagles 23. There you go. That's it. Subscribe, watch some more content. I'll see you guys Monday. And as always, go Rams.